Michelle here, and I'm back with another card using Create a Smile products. I've started off with some basil 40 pound vellum, and I'm prepping that with my EK Success powder tool. And then I've taken the large flower image from the Botanical Love set by Create a Smile, and I'm inking it up with some Versamark ink, and I'm stamping that onto the vellum. Now I do have to apologise because I used this in my last video for Create a Smile, this set, but I just loved it so much. I really love this flower image and I wanted to use it in a slightly different way than I had before. So I'm taking some bright white embossing powder from Wow, and I'm just adding that onto the vellum piece here, and then I'm going to heat set that. Now technically with Wow embossing powders you don't need to use an anti-static product, because when they manufacture the embossing powder they add some anti-static properties to it. However, with vellum I do tend to add that anti-static tool, just because I find that vellum tends to be a little bit more staticky, if that's even a word, than cardstock. So I'm going to work on my sentiment here, and I've taken the I'm Here For You sentiment from the Bad Day set. I'm inking that up with some Memento Tuxedo black ink, and I'm stamping that onto a piece of paper from the Feel Good collection from Create a Smile. So now I'm going to work on my flower image here, and I've reversed the image, so I'm colouring from the back of the image, not the actual where I embossed. And I can be as messy as I want here because you won't see it from the front at all. So I'm using my darkest colour here, and this is BG57. I'm just adding a little bit here onto the kind of inner portions of the petals. And then I'm using my lighter colour, which is the BG53, and I'm just kind of adding that sort of more towards the middle. It is a little bit more difficult to blend with Copic markers on vellum, although it can be done. It tends to look a little bit more like a watercolour effect, which I really quite like, and I'm quite happy with how it turned out. And then I'm just adding in the same colours into the centre portion, and then I'm using B000, and I'm just adding a little bit of extra blue onto the ends of the petals, just because I didn't want them to be completely white. I'm then taking a piece of cardstock here and just adding that behind, just so I can see what it's going to look like on the finished card. And then I'm going to cut that out with my EK Success Cut-A-Bee scissors, and I did this off screen just because I find that a little bit easier than trying to figure out how to do it on camera. I've then cut my sentiment strip down, and I'm going to just decide where I want that. And I've cut the end at an angle with my scissors. And then I'm going to take some glimmer paper. This is from Stampin' Up, and it's a glitter paper. And this is in silver. And I just thought I would kind of accent this sentiment just slightly. And it's quite a subtle glitter paper, but it is really quite pretty as well. And I'm attaching both of those with my Tim Holtz Tiny Attacher. And then I'm going to take the flower image, and although I don't want to stick it down quite yet, I want to cut off the edge of the flower, which is why I didn't colour the whole thing in, because I knew that I was going to cut it off anyway, so I didn't need to. So I've just cut that from behind, and then I'm taking my sentiment strip here, and I'm going to add that on with some 3M foam tape. This is the clear one. And I just want to add that onto the vellum piece before I add the vellum piece onto the panel, so that I know where I can add the glue so that it won't show through the vellum. So like I said, I'm just going to add that onto the vellum piece here. And then I'm going to take my multi-medium mat, and I'm going to add tons of adhesive onto the back of where the sentiment strip is, because you won't see that at all. And then we're going to add tiny little spots of the glue in all the places where the embossing is, so you won't see that. And because I've got this applicator on my bottle of multi-medium mat, I can add tiny little just drops of it, and like I said, you won't see that, and it's quite a good adhesive. It's very, very strong. So I'm just adding this onto my panel here. And then I'm going to cut the edge of the sentiment strip off, just because I wasn't quite sure how long I wanted it at the time. And then I'm going to add this onto a 4-bar note card. This is just a white card that I've cut down. and I'm going to use a ton of foam tape on the back of the panel. This is the kind of big roll of the foam tape. This is by 3M again. Now, I don't think you really need to use this much foam tape. I do go a little bit overboard, and I am aware of that. However, I do post the majority of my cards, and I really don't like if it's going to sag in the middle or get damaged or anything like that, so I tend to use quite a bit of it. You could obviously use some foam, like a foam sheet, like Fun Foam or Funky Foam, but I didn't think I needed it for this particular card because I didn't warp the image or anything like that, and I think that this foam tape is a little bit cheaper. So I'm just sticking that down onto the card, and this is I didn't know if I said a 4x note card, which is 3.5 inches by 4 7/8. And then I'm taking some pretty pink posh sequins. These are the sparkling clear, and they're in the 6mm and the 4mm. And I'm just adding those on with some multi-medium matte again, and again I can just add little tiny spots of it under where I want the sequins to be. And I'm just popping those on with my little tweezers here. I apologise for my head kind of peeking in at the bottom, but I did have to kind of get quite far over it so I can see exactly where I wanted the sequins to go. And I'm popping this larger one just slightly behind the sentiment strip. So that's my card for today. I hope you've enjoyed watching. I will have links to all of the products that I've used down in the description bar here on YouTube and also on my blog, and I'm going to leave you with a couple of photos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.